Everyone, welcome. You are watching News9 Live. I am Krishna Kumar, and with the arrest of Kannada actor Chetan, the question of free speech and what it entails is back, and that's what we're discussing at this hour on News9 Live. The arrest of Kannada actor Chetan Kumar for an offensive tweet has initiated a political war of words in the southern Indian state of Karnataka, with the opposition parties questioning the ruling BJP's high-handedness. Meanwhile, in neighbouring Telangana, Minister KT Rama Rao was asked if the BRS government in Telangana should adopt the same yardstick as the BJP government in Karnataka. In his tweet, the actor in question, the Kannada actor Chetan Kumar, who goes by the alias Chetan Ahimsa, had claimed that Hindutva, the political ideology of the RSS, which is the ideological arm of the BJP, was based on quote-unquote lies like the Babri Masjid in Ayodhya being the birthplace of Ram, and that 18th century ruler of Karnataka, Tipu Sultan, was allegedly killed by the Vokkaliga community of Karnataka. The leaders of the Vokkaliga community, Uri Gowda and Nanje Gowda. Now, on Tuesday, the Bengaluru City Police arrested the actor/activist Chetan Kumar, or Chetan Ahimsa, for hurting religious sentiments. And this, keep in mind, is his second arrest in a year over his Twitter posts. Just last February, Chetan was arrested for his comments against a Karnataka High Court judge who was hearing the hijab case. And in the latest incident, the actor has been remanded to judicial custody of 14 days. Now, this incident has got the Minister of the neighbouring state, Mr. KT Rama Rao, tweeting, and I quote KT Rama Rao's tweet here: in BJP ruled Karnataka, 14 days jail for an offensive tweet. In Telangana, we've been tolerating direct and horrible insults to our chief minister, ministers and legislators. Maybe we need to give them back in same coin. What say people? Right to freedom of expression is not right to abuse. And meanwhile, in the national capital, the Delhi police has filed cases against as many as 44 people and arrested 4 individuals for anti-Modi posters that have been put up around several spots across national capital Delhi. Now, according to official count, at least 2,000 posters were removed and 2,000 more seized after the police intercepted a van that was carrying them. Which brings us to the point we are discussing today on this particular News9 Live at this hour. Does expressing one's opinion about a certain ideology qualify as an insult to an entire religion? Does the right to express in a democracy that is India hold certain caveats? Does free speech come with limits? Does free speech come with responsibility? And do those limits on free speech involve state action? Joining me on this discussion is News9's Gautam Shankar and BJP spokesperson Madhu N. Rao. Thank you both of you gentlemen for joining us. I'm going to begin with the BJP spokesperson Madhu N. Rao, who joins us. The question being asked by KT Rama Rao is that what if we start doing the same thing in Telangana?
Well, you know what? There have been instances of, many instances wherein Hindutva or such ideology have been attacked. My only point is this. You have to believe in the law of the land and in the constitution. And someone, go on ranting against Hindutva and no action is taken, I think that wouldn't be tolerated. In fact, perhaps this has been a convention perhaps for the Congress party wherein if suppose, say for example, if there is anything against minority, I think their action would be taken, and anything against this action would not be taken. I think that had been the convention. But I think there needs to be a particular yardstick. The same yardstick must be considered for these guys also. Look at the brazenness in which this guy is going on telling. Why was it required at this point of time? What was the necessity? Was there any political motive in this? And he's an habitual offender for the fact. If you're talking about Mr. Chetan, specifically in this case, he has been an official, habitual offender rather to say. And he has gone on record to, disregard Hindu mythology or the Hindu gods. I think that should not be done actually. And be it whoever it is, be it from the fringe elements of the Hindutva, so to say, or the the Muslim youth, whoever the fringe elements, I think both needs to be taken action. And the state, as a state, I think we have taken an action against him in terms of the Indian Penal Code. So I think he is building some enmity between the communities. That should not happen.
Right.
So therefore, someone to say that what action must be taken, I think it should be taken as per law, and we have taken action as per law.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Let me take this across to Gautam Shankar, who's the head of South India here at TV9, joining us. Gautam, talk to us, help put these things into perspective. Why is KT Rama Rao equating this with people insulting the Chief Minister and the ministers of the government in Telangana? Because what has happened here is not an insult on the BJP government or the BJP ministers. It is an ideological statement being made, and that is, crossing the line in certain way for state action to take place.
Good evening, Krishna. So first thing here is, this is not the first time that KT Rama Rao has intervened on an issue that is related or concerned with Hindutva politics here. If you remember last year, Munawar Farooqi, the stand-up comedian, wanted to host a show here in Bangalore. But he was denied permission, and immediately about a month or so later, he was granted permission. He was given grand security, like Z plus security there in Hyderabad, and they made sure the show happened over there. So that was just the beginning, and this is where this battle is continuing with KT Rama Rao and the BJP here in Hyderabad, trying to indicate that what kind of government do you want. That is the indication, basically. That is his view, of course, saying that BJP is not really, they are going to allow this sort of thing here in our state if BJP does come to power. So this issue has been growing, and even if you look at Karnataka, it was mainly the coastal Karnataka region where Hindutva politics was largely focused into. But now it is expanding, polarizing politics, whether you like it or not. It's here to stay, and BJP is going to use this as a poll plank. And when it comes to free speech here, that is a matter of perception. When you look at his tweets and the words that have been used,
Right.
you could perceive that in whatever way you want this.
That's fair enough. Yeah, but the thing is that can somebody be jailed for 14 days over a tweet? Is that required? We're also talking about this free speech where you see these posters that have been put up across the national capital as well. Madhu and Rao, you've seen these posters that have been put across the national capital as well. This is a question of how far can free speech go? Be it against a political ideology, a religious ideology, or a particular leader. Is there something wrong with the way free speech is being exercised in the country?
I would have been glad if this question were to be asked few years back when perhaps we were not in the government. But see, the fact of the matter is this. The police would take action in terms of the law, and we have taken in terms of the law. Now, for example, you are talking about Mr. KTR. How much of atrocities have happened against Hindus in Telangana? Please let me know. And what action have they taken? Point number one. Point number two, when it comes to, suppose, say, for example, I'm talking about Karnataka in our own state. Why was it required? See, the statements made by, some of the Congress leaders, I think that has, tempted, or rather it has induced other persons to go in favor of them, especially the, so to say, the brothers, so to say, of DK Kumar. What was the requirement of raking an issue of Savarkar? What was the issue? Why was the issue of Tipu Sultan raised? Why was it all raised? It was all politically motivated. So therefore, to say that it has been motivated and therefore not to take action, it's a flimsy issue. I'm sorry. I mean, let the law take its own course. If at all, if the court finds that if there is something incorrect, let the case be quashed. I think Mr. Chetan or anyone of his stature, or any citizen for that matter, can go to the court of law and ask that there is no case against me, kindly get it quashed. So what's wrong in that? And therefore, to say that, oh, you have free speech, you can do this, and it should be not, no action must be taken, I think that's a quite, it's a quite out of the argument.
Fair
so
enough.
I would always say...
Gautam Shankar, hold on. Let me take this to Gautam Shankar. Madhuji, the reason why I want to ask you is that talk to us about Chetan, this actor who's like doing and showing his biceps while he's being arrested. It's the second time he's being arrested in a year. What kind of a gravitas do the words of Chetan have in the state of Karnataka, in the context of, because the joke was that before KGF, not many people in Karnataka knew Yash. Who is Chetan and how important are his words for the people of Karnataka? Gautam.
Chetan is basically an actor turned activist, and he has been raising several issues that do not really align with the BJP. Let's be straight about that. And he's been a vocal antagonist as long as the BJP is concerned. And like you rightly pointed out, there was a tweet against the Karnataka High Court Justice Krishna Dixit, if I remember right, that was then hearing the hijab case. And then he had also made some remarks against Kantara before that. So while these cases are still going on, so this, while you might say it's his claim to fame, but he has a particular ideology, and that is definitely against the right-wing beliefs. And this, as long as far as the kind of personality he is, he returned to Karnataka after studying abroad, and he's been after a sort of failure to make it as an actor. So he's been trying to make it as an activist. So irrespective of what kind of stand this person has or not, the real question remains: was it right to arrest based on the words, or just for attacking Hindutva? That is chiefly the question that is being asked on the ground, because largely we have not seen this kind of politics being played out in Karnataka.
Right.
While Mr. Krishna is right that okay, Congress also played this sort of politics, raising people and everything, but this is
Right.
not something that we associate with the state here.
Right, it's not something you associate with the state. And Tipu Sultan, the spectre of Tipu Sultan is back, and I'm really curious to understand this entire theory behind the Vokkaliga community leaders behind the assassination of Tipu Sultan, charge being put, Madhu.
No, I think if you're talking about the issue of Urigoda and Nanjigowda, if you're referring to that issue,
yes, I am referring to that.
I think I'm afraid it's been settled as of now to say, perhaps an interim injunction, so to say, because our Swamiji, our Swamiji has specifically told, I think, you please come out with some facts and present it before them. So I think I'll have to rest at that. I do not want to get over it. Now, having said so, I think one issue I just want to ponder over, because I think if you would remember the Congress party releasing this PFI activists and KFD activists and all. Now, kindly remember, these are all issues which related to political disturbances. In 2009, I would remind you, we had arrested 2009 and 10. We had arrested at least 1,600 activists of around 175 cases in Shumoga, Hassan, and Mysore. And these were all against political and disturbances against the Hindu issues and communal tensions which had happened in Mysore and Shumoga and Hassan. You will be flabbergasted to know that in 2013, none other than MLA of the Congress party, Tanvir said, wrote to the government at that point of time, the government was there, Congress, that you please release all of them, and saying that these are all flimsy cases which was put against them. And in 2015, I really do not know, these guys, Congress released these 1,600 PFI activists in spite of there being resentment by the DG, the Director General and the Inspector General of Police saying that, please don't release them because these are all important cases. And the Congress party goes ahead and releases them. These are the things which, and we come to know that after PFI these guys are released, and now it's a fact which is well known that PFI is banned. The point is this, you should not have two yardsticks. There should be a single yardstick. And if anyone of this sort is indulging into, I think an action must be taken. So when we are there, I think we have been telling he may be an actor, he may be not an actor, but the law remains same to everyone. And I think, if we were talking about this gentleman, I really feel sorry for him. I do not know what his intentions are actually, because he's been an habitual offender. He's out on bail. He has been given an undertaking saying that he will never indulge into these things. And again, he gets into these things. What do you expect the government to do? whether it is in Delhi, whether it is in Bangalore, whether it is in Hyderabad, wherever it is. I think action must be taken against these fringe elements who are trying to, create some furor or disturbances in the public.
Right.
And that too during election time. I think this is all not required actually.
Right. Gautam, the fact of the matter is that Chetan is a repeat offender being the question over here. It's not the first time, not the first issue. It's been happening and there are many like Chetan, activists, who spout opinions on social media that can potentially be harmful for society. So help us understand, here is a guy who's flexing his muscles in front of camera after the second time he's arrested in a year. And obviously the question goes that how many more of these characters will the government be able to tolerate?
How much of these the government will be able to tolerate? That is a question that needs to be asked of the BJP itself. Because remember, not so long ago, just because we are talking on the whole free speech matter, let's jog our memories a little back to December. When Sadhvi Pragya, the BJP MP, was here in Karnataka. So she was in Shimoga, as far as I remember, and her statement, "Keep your knives sharp." And this also reminds me that knives is a bit of a common theme in our discussions of late with regard to BJP. But yeah, the statement that is that keep weapons in your home is nothing else, at least knives that can be used for self-protection. And this was a statement that was basically made in context with love jihad. And a couple of complaints were also filed against her by Tehseen Poonawala and another. But she managed to get off scot-free. So the yardstick, as Anand Krishna was saying, the BJP will have to set the yardstick and they'll have to be really, if they have to be balanced about this whole issue.
Right. Forget about yardsticks. But the question that Madhu is asking is also that this is we are closing in on elections in Karnataka, both for state and for center. They're both happening. And Madhu wants to have a word. I'll come back to Gautam. Then Madhu, go ahead.
Oh, I know you're talking about Mr. KTR questioning certain things. I just want to perhaps, you can ask him a question perhaps whenever you get in touch with him. Why is that AIMIM chief was always praising on KCR and KCR always praising Mr. YSC and AIMIM? In fact, he must be reminded that AIMIM, that is All India Mustafi Muslim, that party has been formed for the benefit of Muslims, where Razakars was there. So therefore, they are all against Indians. So you mean to say that KCR and all is for India? Is that what I'm getting an understanding if he gets in alignment with the AIMIM? So what sort of questions and what sort of, I do not know really what sort of understanding Mr. KTR is trying to create. The fact of the matter remains one thing, the fact is wherever such instances happen, kindly take action. Why don't you take action? How much of action has not been taken by the Congress party during the regime of 2004 to 2014? Haven't they taken any action? I remember having, heard of this Hindu terror. What happened to all those cases? They were all false cases. Did they not come out clean? Whoever against whom it was made against? You're talking about Pragi Sagya. Now NIA has come out and told there is no case against her. The normal criminal cases have been running against her. Therefore, it's easy for anyone to say that, oh, why the cases have been lodged against a person, it's a free speech. But I think there must be some amount of, I wouldn't call it decency. I think there is a Lakshman Rekha which needs to be drawn. I think that should not create some sort of disturbances, that too particularly when election is in time.
Right.
During the period of hijab, during the period of Azan, we have there was always an allegation against the BJP as to we took it. I just want to reiterate every time. I keep reiterating it that we were not the first to go to the court questioning certain things. It was the girls who went to the court, and therefore it becomes spiraled up and became an issue. So to say, even with regard to the Azan issue, so therefore even the issue of Tipu Sultan, we never raised it. So these are the sort of issues which perhaps those who are against the BJP wants to bring it so that they will come into the limelight, and therefore by bringing this into the limelight, and they will also be in the limelight, and they want to badmouth against us. I think this doesn't work. I think wherever wherever we have to take an action as a state, I think we are taking action.
Right.
We continue to keep taking actions.
Right. It's a state taking action, and it can't because we are talking about a time when we're less than 2 months away from elections, Gautam. Clearly, this is also the time when the pitch queers, the election pitch queers from both sides, is it also the reason why you're seeing this crackdown happening on Chetan, because it's coming at a very delicate time for the state of Karnataka? Right, Gautam, I think you've muted your audio, requesting you to quickly unmute yourself so we can hear you.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Please go ahead.
As you rightly said that just now, it comes at a very delicate time. That is the issue here. If the same statement was made maybe in January or earlier, very unlikely that such a situation would arise in the state. And like Anand Krishna pointed out, it's not just the BJP that could be held guilty for this arrest and everything happening because earlier with the Congress as well, Sidramaya has been taking up the Tipu Sultan issue. And now the BJP, if they have to say so, they are just countering with the Ori Gowda and Nanjay Gowda narrative that they have brought up. How far it succeeds, that is that is a matter of perspective. And since you asked the question earlier as well, CT Ravi has again sought time, and he said that he will speak to Nirmalananda here, and he will try and sort this out. So it is basically two big guns of Karnataka that are going at each other, and there's no doubt that polarizing politics is at play, and both of them are trying to strike down each other with contrasting narratives.
Right, and actors and independent actors and activists' statements. The reason why we're discussing is that there are 2-3 things that are happening. One is KT Rama Rao viewing this as a free speech issue, and then you have those posters being put up across Delhi as well. So the question is that, remember the time when Twitter began, Gautam, and then there was the Congress government was in power. They weren't happy with the fact that anybody gets to have a say in any which way, and you never know how that could affect the peace in society. And now you have these things happening. The posters in Delhi, that's the visuals of it that are there on your screens. They have been put out. 2,000 of these posters have been removed. 2,000 have been seized from a van. And that's the reason why the question arises: free speech. Is it a matter of free speech, or is it an excuse to abuse? Which is exactly what KT Rama Rao was saying. There is so much free speech in Telangana that the people of Telangana, inside Telangana, it's easy to criticize the chief minister. It's easy to criticize any minister. Nobody gets arrested. Nobody gets sent to 14 days of judicial custody. Gautam, the problem here is that this 14 days of judicial custody is seeming a little bit too much, isn't it?
Absolutely. If you have to look at judicial custody, that is something that the police seeks to question someone who's you are not
Madhu, I'm
clear
coming to you. I
about
know you're shaking your head, Madhu. I'll let Gautam finish and then I'll come to you.
Yeah. So the 14-day judicial custody, yes, that might be a little bit harsh, like you said. But also keep in mind, he can seek bail, he can come out, and the process is there. But also, as long
is that why you're so
Telangana
confident while pumping his arms while being taken away by the police? We've been seeing those visuals go in loop. Him, flexing his biceps as he's being arrested and taken away. He is confident that this is not going to amount to much. I can get a bail and come out anytime.
It may not amount to much, but actually speaking, it may amount to much. See, this actually gives him a plank to be taken more seriously. So if these kind of arrests, when these arrests happen, what it does is it gets us talking. Like this discussion is happening around this issue. So it puts Chetan Ahimsa on the spotlight. And that is what he seeks as well. And the BJP needs to be careful of the narrative, because right now he's not going to stay quiet. He's going to dare the government.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to come to Madhu with, Gautam. Now, when you do this, what you do is that you give a platform to Chetan. You put the spotlight on Chetan, which would have not been the case had you not, filed this case against him.
Unfortunately, sir, we have something called as the law of the land. And if you're asking as to why he is sent for a 14-day judicial custody, I think, afraid, as a lawyer, I would say that we are questioning the prerogative of the magistrate judge who has sent him to the 14-day custody. I think you, me, or Gautam, no one is there to question the prerogativeness of the judge as to send him. Perhaps he must have had some references and some information which has been given by the public prosecutor to the court. So therefore, perhaps he has been because I'll tell you something. This is a mindset of these people. Now I would question only one thing. Why would I not question him? And why would I not have a doubt that he has been instigated some rogue sources from outside India? Why would I not know? Should I not investigate into that? Because I'll tell you something, this is not happening for the first time. These elements have been here, have been doing, in fact, he has done a press conferences also in the earlier occasions. So perhaps the state must have understood that there must have been some information with them which would indict him. So therefore, and believe, you need to understand one thing. He's out on bail in a previous case. And I think if I'm right, he had filed a quashing petition before the High Court. It got rejected. Nothing happened. In spite of that, these elements having, acting like this, I think we cannot sit quiet thinking that, okay, it will have some political repercussions. I think law of the land must take its own course, and police has taken they've done their duty.
All right. They have done their duty. We'll see how this plays out, especially with elections approaching in the southern Indian state of Karnataka. For now, Madhu N. Rao, spokesperson of the BJP, thank you so much for joining us on this News9 Live and sharing your opinions. And of course, News9's own Gautam Shankar, head of South India, joining us on this discussion. And with that, I'm afraid we've completely run out of time here on this particular edition of News9 Live. Thank you all those for tuning in to this online. Keep it with News9. This is Krishna Kumar signing off.